My name is Owen, and I am the director of the famous Victories of Henry V. A director's job. Every director does it differently, which is great, which is fun. There's no right and wrong way to direct. But I guess what kind of unifies every director is that you are there to solve problems. So especially when you get to do a great epic play or a classical play, you have to solve the problem, how do you stage a war? You might have a really gruesome death to put on stage, and how do you do that? You get to take it from what's on the page and begin to visualize how you're going to put it onto the stage, which is kind of just one of the best jobs ever. You work with the actors and you help the actors find relationships with each other and encouraging them to make brave choices. So you are the person that's from the outside looking at them so that they don't have to think about it. I think a show that goes to different spaces is always really fun, because the space that you go into should inform the show. So sometimes we'll go into really, really small, intimate school halls, and the show will become a lot more intimate because of that. And then suddenly we'll go into these massive, we'll go into a big chapel, for example, it's really long, and suddenly that will make the play feel much more epic, and somehow the language might change that as well. So I don't know, I find that the most kind of exciting thing of doing a show that travels and tours. Before the even show starts, we have like a little relationship with a group of children, and each character can kind of build a relationship with them. So then when they watch the show, they feel like they're part of it already, I think. That's the idea. We're going into their space, and we want them to know who we are in terms of when we go into that space. So they feel comfortable when they come into the hall. It doesn't feel like we've taken it over and then they have to kind of sit down on chairs and watch us. Well, my parents are in no way involved in the arts or anything. They bought me Shakespeare's stories, and they bought me audio tapes. I think really they just wanted me to go to sleep. So I didn't really go to sleep as a child, so they put this on, so they thought this might bore him, so they're going to send him off to sleep. But I love the stories were fantastic, so I connected to the stories way before I connected to any of the language. And then my dad would take me to the Lyceum Theatre in Edinburgh. I remember going to see Macbeth. We sat like a few rows from the front, and just remembering the beginning of that play and the witches coming on. And there was a moment when one of the witches literally just eyeballed me, and she just held it there, and it was the most frightening thing I've ever experienced, but at the same time the most thrilling thing as well, because it felt like, and I am in the play as well. And then the whole play from that moment on completely transformed the way I saw Shakespeare, and I was amazed. I once played tennis for Scotland. At the same time as Andy Murray, he was like on A team, and I may have been on like Z team, but I was still there. Slightly more embarrassing is that I have also won medals in Scottish country dancing, so that makes me feel that balances it out, I feel.